In this video, we are going to talk about most dangerous prison inmates in the world. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. The most dangerous prisoners in the world are those who have a history of committing horrifying crimes and who remain in prison. Here you may view a list of all of the most dangerous prisoners from around the world. There are a significant number of inmates who are responsible for committing crimes that resulted in the deaths of innocent people. The majority of them have either been sentenced to the death penalty or life in prison without parole. There are many inmates who get so sick of murdering that they'll do it even while they're locked up with their fellow inmates and surrounded by bars. Are you looking for a man who is terrifying, terrible, and considered to be the most deadly in the world? Here are most dangerous prison inmates in the world. So let's start. Number 10. The Eyeball Man. A man dubbed Eyeball because a tattoo that dimmed his right eye's white area shot an Anchorage officer. Jason Barnum was sentenced to 22 years in jail on Friday. The 30-year-old pleaded guilty to attempted murder, burglary, and weapon possession, K2 said. Police were investigating home and car burglaries when the incident occurred. Barnum opened fire on officers investigating a hotel in 2012. Two officers shot Barnum, wounding one of them. Barnum later admitted stealing to fuel his heroin habit. Chief of Police Mark Mew argued for a strong penalty in court. Jason Barnum decided long ago to be unfriendly, Mew added. The judge noted Barnum's skull tattoos. Mew, check out Mr. Barnum. He can express himself whichever he wants. We can't sentence him, but we can judge his attitude and behavior. Barnum reflected after taking the stand. Chief's words humble me. I ran like crazy, Barnum said. Everyone knows I'm not pleasant. I realized my mistake. Nothing is reversible. Number 9. The Red Ripper. Chikatilo, also known as Andrei Romanovich, was a notorious serial killer in the Soviet Union. It is reported that he raped and mutilated over 52 innocent women, earning him the monikers Butcher of Rostov and Red Ripper. He also went by the appellation Red Ripper. It is said that he admitted to a mind-boggling 56 murders and was tried for 53 of them in 1992. He is considered to be one of the most notorious prisoners in the history of the United States penal system. Number 8. Aileen Wuornos. Aileen Carol Wuornos was an American serial killer. She was born Aileen Pittman on February 29, 1956 and passed away on October 9, 2002. In the years 1989 and 1990, while she was working as a prostitute on the streets along highways in Florida, she murdered 7 of her male customers and looted the others. Wuornos asserted that all of the homicides were an act of self-defense and that her clients had either sexually assaulted her or made an attempt to sexually assault her. She also stated that the assaults and attempts were sexual in nature. After spending a total of 12 years on Florida's death row, Wuornos was finally put to death on October 9, 2002 by means of a lethal injection. He had been given the death penalty for 6 of the murders. This woman was nothing short of a monstrous creature. Between the years 1989 and 1990, Aileen Wuornos was complicit in the murder of 7 men, all of whom were killed in cold blood. She would almost always accuse the men she dated of raping and shooting the women she was involved with point blank. Reports indicate that Wuornos was found guilty, given a death sentence, and ultimately put to death through the use of a fatal injection. The story of Aileen Wuornos, beginning with her first murder and ending with her execution, is told in the biographical film Monster, 2003. Charlize Theron was awarded the Oscar for Best Actress for her performance as Wuornos, which earned her the award. Number 7. John Wayne Gacy, a real-life Pennywise clown. You have probably all heard of the recent blockbuster film IT, which was released in 2017, and the movie is actually based on John Wayne Gacy. Gacy began his career as a performer by dressing up as a clown in order to amuse youngsters and collect donations for charitable causes. He gave himself the moniker of Pogo the Clown. However, hiding behind this bright and cheerful clown persona was a heartless offender. Gacy was a pervert who committed acts of rape and torture, and was found guilty of the murder of 33 boys and men between the ages of 13 and 24 between January 1972 and late 1978. Late in 1994, he was put to death by means of an injection of a drug called fatal injection. Number 6. Mark Hobson. There are many dangerous inmates in the British correctional system, and Damien Fowkes is not the only one who has shown their inherent violent nature by aggressively attacking the reviled image of Ian Huntley. Mark Hobson, a fellow inmate at HMP Wakefield, flung a bucket of boiling water over the head of the murderer from Cambridgeshire in September of 2005. This occurred only 1 year after the murderous rampage that led to Hobson, who was born in West Yorkshire, being convicted of 4 separate murders. During the 8 days that the manhunt lasted, he was known as Britain's most wanted man. Hobson is someone who the prison authorities are required to keep a very close eye on at all times because of the sheer brutality of his murders, as well as the fact that he is willing to attack other inmates and that these murders involve sustained sexual torture. Number 5. Joanna Dennehy. As a result of the shockingly violent stabbing she committed against 3 men, convicted serial killer Joanna Dennehy is currently serving a life sentence in prison. Her crimes caused her to gain a reputation as one of Britain's most notorious female killers very quickly, perhaps only second to Rosemary West in that regard. Dennehy takes rivalry seriously. She went looking for West as soon as she arrived in HMP Bronzefield following her punishment, as she was eager to make her point. Christopher Barry D., a prominent criminologist and widely read author of true crime books, has conducted interviews with both women and has a deep understanding of their mentalities as a result. According to him, Joanna Dennehy wasted little time in making an effort to establish herself as the alpha dog in the high-security jail in Surrey. Number 4. Mary Mallon. She is also known as Typhoid Mary, and it is estimated that she infected 51 people, 3 of whom ultimately passed away as a result of their illnesses. Mary continued to work as a domestic worker and cook for people despite the fact that she was carrying an extremely contagious bacteria that causes typhoid fever. As a result, many people became infected with the disease. When I was younger, the medical facilities that were available to treat an illness such as typhoid were very ineffective. And it appears that she was aware that she was sick before she infected hundreds of people. Mallon spent the last 23 years of her life in a virtual prison where she was forced to isolate herself. Number 3. The Nithari Killers. Last year, serial killer Monitor Singh Panher and his domestic help surrender Kohli were both found guilty of one of the 16 murders that were investigated as part of the Nithari killings case and sentenced to death in connection with the crime. The murders in Nithari were brought to light when 8 child skeletons were found in the drain of a house in Nithari, Noida. Nithari is located in the Indian city of Noida. There have been allegations made regarding cannibalism, pedophilia, and rape, as well as the trafficking of organs. Number 2. Shashikala Patankar, AB. One woman who realized the simple money that comes from selling narcotics is Shashikala Patankar. She quit her job as a milkmaid and quickly assimilated into Mumbai's famed drug trade. She accumulated property from the drum industry worth over Rs 100 crore after over 10 years of doing it. The Mumbai police finally detained baby Patankar in 2015. Number 1. Robert Maudsley. Robert Maudsley never truly developed a reputation as a shot caller or face, despite the fact that he was exceedingly hazardous to some prisoners, and for good cause. He deliberately targeted those he referred to as abusers with his attacks. He didn't attack anyone around to incite terror or move up the criminal food chain. Robert Maudsley acted as a kind of vigilante. Although a serial killer, Maudsley is a rather peculiar one. Most serial killers are detained in that capacity. When he was arrested, the 67-year-old Liverpudlian had only committed 1 murder. After being convicted of strangling child sex offender John Farrell in London in 1974, he was given a life sentence with a recommendation that he never be released. He would kill 3 more child predators over the course of the following 4 years while inside. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.